kicking off the new series of recaps with excellent quality, known as me holding my iPhone, and I'm just going to keep looking at myself. I was so happy to see Isis's butt. Well, it's not even Isis, it's Pharaoh, but you know what I mean. Oh guys, it's back and I'm so happy, and it's the last one, so I'm not happy, but at the same time I'm so happy. Started off down in the kitchen with Marigold and George asking if they could lick the bowl. Miss Patmore was making cakes. Apparently they're so poor now they have to lick the bowls. Thomas comes in and George asks him if he can have a piggyback. What is it with posh British people and pigs? You know what I'm saying. We're 6 months on from where we left off with Mrs. Hughes and Carson getting engaged. Mrs. Hughes still hasn't set the date, and it turns out it's because she's worried she's going to have sex with Carson. It's so awkward. It's hilarious. Bless her. But the whole... Oh, it was great. It was great comedy. So she asked Mrs. Patmore whether she can go and ask him if they get married, are they going to be married or not? And it was adorable because after lots of please understand what I'm talking to you about, but I don't want to say it out loud, Carson finally gets the hint, and then it was so cute. He just goes on about how much he loves her and how if they are getting married, it has to be married because he can't think of any other way of being with her, and he doesn't want a silly sham friendship marriage. So it's all or nothing, and he's like, I love her. Oh, it's so cute. Yeah. So he basically tells Mrs. Patmore to go and tell Mrs. Hughes that if she doesn't want to be married, then she should just call it off. And then they kissed. And like right up until that moment I was like, kiss, 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 and then they did, and I was like, I don't actually think I ever wanted to see that. Turns out I didn't. It was all very... At the Abbey, everyone's worried about the money situation because it's Downton Abbey and the future is coming. The local estate that Mr. Mason's farm / Daisy's farm, when is she ever going to take that farm? Although now she ain't got no farm. The estate has been sold because the Lord has basically got no money left. And it's kind of freaked everyone out. They're having an auction of all the belongings, so everyone decides to go. All this talk of cutbacks and losing money has led the staff to worry about their jobs. Denker finds out from the Dowager Countess that although they're not planning on sacking anyone, they're not replacing any staff, and it may come to it at one point that they will have to let people go. So the Dowager Countess tells Denker not to spread this. Of course she jumps and skips her way down to Downton Abbey and tells everyone that they're losing their jobs. Of course she does. Thomas is convinced that he is the one that's going to be losing his job, and he's just a cutie. Denker's also told Sprat that he'll be going. The Dowager Countess finds out about this from Sprat, and then because she loves meddling with those two, I swear she only has them as staff so she can just play them off each other and mess with each other. Denker comes in to give her a shawl, saying, I think you think it's getting a bit chilly, you might be cold. And the Dowager Countess is like, oh, thank you, you're so thoughtful, I'm going to miss you when you're gone. Denker's like, what? And she's like, oh, nothing, pretend, just ignore me. And Isabel's there at the time, it's like, you're so mean. She's like, sometimes you just need to put them in their places. So that's great. Anna's walking around as the human cloud over Downton Abbey. Just cheer up. Literally Twitter was just full of people saying, will you just cheer up please, Anna, you're doing my head in. She thought she was pregnant and then she's not pregnant, and it's happened more than once now, so she's convinced she can't have children. The episode ends with a woman confessing to having killed Green. She'd been attacked by him as well and happened to pass him in the street, and he was mocking her, so she just pushed him in front of some traffic. So the Bateses are no longer yet again off to murder prison for the time being, knowing them, because they have to get caught for a murder one day. Seriously. So Anna was happy for literally all of 5 seconds, And then she was back to just absolutely miserable. It's like, please, just lighten up. The village hospital is being taken over by the main big county hospital. Isabel and Dowager Countess are properly at each other's throats over it. Isabel thinks it's a good idea, the Dowager Countess thinks it's an awful idea. Clarkson suggests that Isabel only thinks it's a good idea because of Lord Merton, so he's still around, even though they broke up. He's still about, and Clarkson still hates him. But yeah, they're back to their full-on squabbling ways, and Cora just really wants to get involved. Robert says to her, like, just stay out of it, and she's like, I can't, your mother is wrong. So I feel like we've gone back to series 1, which, you know, is quite nice to end with. Mary gets blackmailed by the Scouse Terminator. Seriously, she's like, I'll be back. It was so great. She just stood there saying she'd be back. She was a maid at the hotel in Liverpool, so she knows all about her and Gillingham, and tries to blackmail her for £1,000. Lady Mary's like, nah lady, I ain't doing it, and just keeps sending her away without any money, knowing that if she does get blackmailed, it'll be worse. Eventually, Scouse Terminator ends up in the library with Robert, and Mary walks in like, oh no, do not pay this woman, and Robert's paid her, and it turns out that he's managed to get her to sign to say that she has been trying to blackmail his daughter, and he got her to do that for £50. So if she does come back, he has a signed confession and she'll end up in prison. Because Robert is G. Literally, Lord G. That's what the G stands for. Gangster. So because of that blackmailing, Robert's now agreed that Mary can be I can't remember what this is called. The estate manager, anyway. She's taken on Thomas's role. Thomas is in America still. Robert's concerned that Sibby will have an American accent, which is adorable. And then Cora's like, yeah, would that be that bad if she had an American accent? In, you know, her messed up English American accent. Yes, it would be that bad. And then the only other really storyline was Daisy just losing it at the new owners of the other estate. So Mr. Mason had to lose his farm because they had to sell the estate with all the farms vacant. So then they all go to the auction. Daisy just takes it upon herself to go. It's great. And then just starts screaming and shouting at him. And yeah, makes a big scene, embarrasses herself. But she feels really strongly about it. And it's like, well done, Daisy, standing up for yourself. And then she gets home and then is in a massive tears that she's going to get sacked. Carson can't believe that she brought shame on the family like she did. But luckily, this has all happened the night that Anna and Bates find out that they're free. So everyone, including the whole family, have gone downstairs, which is so lovely because it's just, oh, they're all together downstairs drinking champagne and celebrating. And then Robert and Cora creep off to the kitchens to look at the new fridge because it's not Downton Abbey unless there's some new technology because the future is coming. And they're getting a secret midnight snack. And then they get caught by Carson. And it's great. And Carson's like, what am I going to do with Daisy? Cora, being Cora, is like, just tell her off, but don't sack her. Just make sure she knows not to do it again. So Daisy lives another day. And that was the first episode. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.